Abuja. Welcome to another exciting Saturday. It's another beautiful weekend in the city of Abuja, and I know that you are as excited as I am. Time check is 5 minutes gone past the hour of 1, and you know what it is. It's the Weekend Buffet right here on Bright 98.7 FM. That weekend talk show that gets to enlighten you about all the social happenings, whatever that's happening in society. We get to talk about all of that. You know, whatever has happened throughout the week or maybe the month, we get to discuss all of that right here on the Weekend Buffet. I am Ace Wonders, and I will not be doing this alone. I have with me very lovely guests in the building. And before I introduce them, how is your day going? How is your weekend going? Did you go out yesterday? Did you have fun? Did you party? Did you go out clubbing? We had Club 987. You should have turned up with us if you are not going out. And for all my Friday listeners who got my movie or my series recommendations, how is that working out for you? We'll talk about all of that later, okay? But right now we're in the Weekend Buffet and we are having a different conversation. So sit right in, let's buckle up and let's get right into the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get right into it. Like I said earlier, it's the Weekend Buffet right here on Bright 88.7 FM, and I have very lovely ladies in the building. It's only ladies I have today, but you get to understand why it's ladies that I'll be having this conversation with when I unveil the topic of today. Now, with me, I have Thelma. How are you doing today? She's one of our regulars, but she has returned today even though she went on hiatus. What happened? How are you?
Hi Ace, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Awesome. So, what have you been up to now? Where have you been?
I've been chilling.
You sure?
Yes. Enjoying myself.
Okay, welcome back. And of course, this is the first time guest with us today. We have Uzo. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm awesome. How you doing?
Awesome, I'm great.
Hello, Abuja.
Nice. Okay, so before we get right into it, I want to make a plea, because this conversation is almost like a battle of the sexes kind of conversation, so I'm going to make a plea. Please, don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
Because you guys understand why I'm saying this. I am a man, and this conversation is more so borderline around women. Looking at the fact that this month is the National Women's Month, we had Women's Day, International Women's Day last week Saturday on the 8th of March, and we have Mother's Day on the 30th. That's a lot of women celebration. So, but in regards to this conversation, we have somewhat an impending conversation. Now, over the past couple of weeks, we've had this is a case study because the matter in the Senate is still alleged. It's not been conclusive, so we're using just the fact that conversation came from there as a case study to move on with our conversation. We're not making any claims here whatsoever. So I'm putting out this disclaimer before someone's coming and saying, no, this person did this or this person did that. So we're using this as a case study. Anyway, so what we're seeing for the past couple of weeks in the Senate is the conversation between, or more like the altercation between Senator Natasha and the Senate President, which the conversation has been around sexual harassment. Now, again, it's alleged. Note that before we go off with that conversation. But now, with that kind of conversation coming up, and a lot of different school of thoughts are coming up, I heard a particular former senator, she's a lady, come out on national television to say that as long as you're a senator, you cannot be sexually harassed. And that was a shocker to me. I was wondering, how did that happen? How is that even possible? So now that's even the conversation we're trying to have, because based off of that, and trying to look at the progress women have been having over the years, with the Me Too movement, the feminist movement, and everything that has been going on. In retrospect, sexual harassment against women in the workplace. What are the challenges and solutions? This is the topic that we're having today. So, I'm going to open the floor to you. Don't forget, you can also join us in this conversation by leaving us a message on WhatsApp, or you can Leave a message on WhatsApp on 0901 I'll take that slower. 0901 We'll be opening the phone lines shortly, but let's just converse a little bit with my guest here in the studio, and then we'll open the floor to you to call in. Okay? Is that good? Alright, let's get right into it. So, Uzo, let's start with you. In the case of sexual harassment, especially in the workplace, because that's where our topic is stemming from. How challenging has that been so far? Especially with the fact that we're still annoyingly in a society that's still saying women should just be at home and not work. Now you're fought your way into getting into the offices, and you're still facing certain challenges with some certain group of men.
Yes.
How has that been so far?
Well, it's been really challenging. It's been the most stressful, feeling for most women, because the number one fact is that it is usually downplayed and undermined. Most times people feel like, oh, this is not a topic to be discussed, it's not a topic to be brought out, it's not something that when it happens to you, you keep it to yourself, keep it as a secret. So most times when the stories get out, when we hear about the stories, like, oh, this woman is so brave, we have the two parties who think the woman is so brave, and we have the other ones who are like, oh, why? Who is this? Where are you coming from? Why are you coming to tell a lie? Why are you coming to just say things randomly, to tarnish someone's image? Most
I
times.
honestly hate that phrase. This woman is so brave.
Yeah.
Because it's usually attached to someone has struggled. I don't like it.
Oh wow. Well, we can't deny that. It's mostly attached to that.
Yeah.
But it also has its pros, not just people that are coming out for injustice that we get to tell as brave.
Yeah.
But it's really challenging for most women, and the things that we see the stories, online, we see them, it happens to people we know personally. But it feels like most times there's no way to go about it, because it just stems up in talk. People get bashed online, but at the end of the day, what actually happens? So it's not just about speaking out, it's also about what happens at the end of the day. The person involved, are you getting your satisfaction from bringing up the topic, or are you still not okay with the result of what you're getting? So I don't know, it's just a whole lot centered around it.
And what do you think, Thelma?
Well, first of all, the issue of sexual harassment in the workplace is a very, very crucial topic. Most of the times it's because people do not know what sexual harassment is. I was having a conversation with you earlier this morning, Ace, and I was like, most people do not know there are some certain things you should not be saying or doing in a workplace. So, like, for example, this Senator Natasha's case, someone was like, Gospel Pabio he's very jovial, he's a funny man, he's a very jokey person. But that doesn't mean you should say some kind of things to some kinds of people. Do you get? To people in the workplace especially. Yeah. So there are some things that you should not do and you should be doing in the workplace. Yeah. That is the first one. Then secondly, sexual harassment has to stop.
And that's very apparent.
It has to stop. Like, people are doing it not knowing they are sexually harassing someone.
And that's actually the point that we wanted to get us to now, because as much as I don't want to excuse ignorance, a lot of people, and this is one thing that I've kind of noticed that is kind of like rooted in our culture, is that we tell certain sly jokes and we don't know it's insulting one, and we don't know we're making some kind of sexual. It's not like we don't know. We know, but we feel like, hey, it's a joke. It's a joke. So now I feel like we should clearly state what those forms of sexual harassment is. So any uncle and any brother that's going to work this week would know that if you move somewhere, you are sexually harassing somebody at work. So that's why I want the ladies to actually tell us, because I hate to say this, that usually it's mostly like ladies who experience this in place of work. So I want it to come from the mouth of babes, basically. No pun intended.
Okay. So basically, inappropriate conversations. Yeah. Someone like you're not already having that conversation outside. Then you're in the workplace and you're making someone feel very uncomfortable by the things you say, or like all this. Oh, how you doing? Yes, exactly. Like, those are the list of the things.
I really want to be very explicit with the details. So that, because I feel like some people are like, okay, you're shaking the person's hand. How much handshake And what's distance of which part of the body are you touching that is making the whole thing even more awkward?
You see, most people, they
Yeah.
don't like, for example, me, I'm
Yeah.
not a touchy person,
Yeah.
except I know you.
Mm.
Do you get? And you would not just come to me and, maybe some people also are very touchy, but there should be a limit.
Limits.
There should be a limit.
And when you're uncomfortable, like,
Yes, there should be a
and we are
limit.
humans, we know things are comfortable and things are not comfortable.
Of
So
course.
we should learn to draw the line, no matter how playful or how happy you are,
Or
and
how
someone,
touchy you are.
yes, you should know when to draw the line.
Especially in the workplace.
Especially in the workplace.
Because that's a place of business. You don't mess around where you eat. So it's very, very imperative that we clearly make this known. Making certain comments to certain with ladies. Now, again, if you do not have that type of relationship, I think it should be very, very clear. If you don't have that type of relationship with this person, don't be doing that, especially at work. Now we're still going to come out like we're still going to have the conversation of outside the workplace, but there's a very, very, very clear line that with how this happens in the place of work, and that's one of the reasons why we're having this conversation. And unfortunately, it's still the same man that would move like this that will come and say, "Is this lady that slept her way to the top?"
That's very true.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to cast the stone, don't be one of the people who are packing the stone for people. So now another point we want to look at is, again, this is why I said do not stone me while we're having this conversation. Is there in any way like a lady can have or bring one of the contributing factors to why she was sexually harassed? Is there any way? Again, I said don't shoot the messenger.
That was hard to take this. So please go ahead.
Sorry, you said, is there any
Is there
way?
any way
Yeah.
that a lady can contribute to this?
So, for example, when I started talking, I said people do not know what sexual harassment is, especially in the workplace.
Yeah.
You don't know boundaries, and because you do not know your boundaries or what is sexual harassment in the workplace, you are liable to take some attitude, how do I put it now? You were taking some kind of rubbish, if I can say that.
Yeah. Okay. Let me really place some groundwork to why I asked that question. So a couple of years back, during my NYC, I worked at one of the federal ministries. I was serving there, and not gonna mention names. So, for obvious reasons. So, one of the younger ladies walked into the office, and now, in my opinion, there is absolutely no way what she wore was provocative.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
Okay.
she wasn't dressed provocatively. Now, the older women at the office called her into the office. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, I was sat in that office again doing NYC work. I heard that conversation, and basically they were giving her stern warning. Don't dress like this, so that this man will not be looking at you like this. So that's why I was asking this question. Is there in any way a lady can contribute to this as well?
So do you feel like the older women in that situation were right about what they said?
Again, in my opinion, I don't think that lady was dressed
Right?
provocatively.
Okay.
So, which is now where like boils us down to the conversation. As much as we want to draw a very clear line, it's still very, very imperative that there are still certain men that would look and not look away.
Of course.
No matter how
Decently
Yes.
dressed you are,
dressed you
covered
are.
up. Yes.
Come to think of it, she was very covered up. I'm just remembering, I'm having flashbacks right now. And
I'm just trying to point out why the women
So,
because
now, I think one of the reasons why they called her into the office that day to like have that conversation with her is because first, now this is still one of the reasons why I wanted us to have this conversation is because the older generation has somewhat kind of like watered down how this happens. Now we tend to blame the ladies, and this is one of the angles I kind of wanted you guys to come from. We tend to blame the ladies for this and not caution the men for, hey, uncle, you're married. Because let's be very honest, the people those kind of faces are married with children.
Why
Look
are you
away.
looking? Look away.
So that's the older ladies or the older women in these situations have kind of like been in this situation so much that they have almost it's not same. It's really not
enough
same.
for them now.
So somehow I would tend to say that they have buried themselves in the patriarchy so much that they are one of the enforcers of the patriarchy.
Exactly, because they don't know what sexual harassment is. That's why they allow. They're like, it's nothing.
It's not like they allow it.
that.
Yes, it's not just like that. So that this
person will not do this to you.
It's like
when
saying
it comes up, they still like side. They'll be like, oh, like I saw one post that says, she's a senator. Her fellow senator cannot make
again still alleged.
less. Yeah, alleged. I saw a post that said that. So most other women on this situation are coming out to actually be in between, be on the fence about it. They're not really taking anybody's side. They're not like, oh, it's a no. We've seen it happen before. You're not the first lady.
You're too beautiful. I saw one where it says she's too beautiful. Her only problem is that she was too beautiful.
Again, that's I think that's
How is that her fault?
That's one of the angles where I was coming from. Now, it's we found ourselves in a society where, again, with the fact that I was talking about how this month is International Women's Month, basically, and how the struggle for women to come into positions of power have been. So, are you trying to tell me it's only ugly women that should be ready for family?
Come on, no woman is ugly.
I don't argue that, but okay, that's arguable. But is it unpleasant to look at people that should be running for power? So when you look at them, you're like, okay, no, we shouldn't be looking at your beauty. You're here for work, and that's it.
Or is it that in the workplace, women should, like, even if you're totally covered up, you're still going to be harassed. So what's the way forward, actually?
Is that why there are laws put in place?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, another point where I did a lot of research before. I had a lot of conversations with people before I wanted to bring this up on radio to talk about. Now, I had a friend of mine who was applying to a particular company, and during the interview conversation, she asked if they had like a sexual harassment policy, and the gentleman across the table said, "They don't. We are a family here." Now, these are all testimonies from a lot of ladies. So, before I'm coming out here to say these things, I've talked to ladies to have this conversation. So, it was like, we're a family here. There's no sexual harassment policy. So, there's no punishment, no query, no nothing for anybody who defaults in this. And again, seeing that the major perpetrators of this are men, so they're just gonna like get a slap on the wrist and that's it.
That's all. And keep moving.
We're family here.
We're family here.
Well, any organization where they ever say one family here, just know that that's
They're not a family.
That's the first step to look the other way.
They are not a family.
So while looking at all of this, I'm very, very curious to how comfortable or how much of eggshells ladies have to walk in the workplace to not be, again, to somehow not find themselves where they are sexually harassed, or even like find themselves in situations where they'll say, okay, you are the one that enter his office now. Why did you go inside his office and lock the door? Sorry, I'm so sorry. It's in my office. So these are all aspects to this conversation, and I'm very, very curious to know what you, the listener, thinks. Well, right now we'll be opening the phone lines to take your conversation, so you can call in and let us know what you think about this particular topic. Weigh in your opinions, tell us your opinion. You can let us know. Call the number 0808-704-1217, 0808-704-1217. And you can also leave us a message on WhatsApp. We'll read your messages, send us a voice note, leave us a message. We can listen to all of them on 0901-615-0614. Get your weigh in on contribute on the conversation, and let's get your opinion. Now, still falling back to this conversation, just want to throw in a little bit of bone here. Do you think men can't be sexually harassed in the workplace?
Oh, men can, of course. But they hardly get sexually harassed.
And that's even the very, very weird kicker part. Because again, like I said, I would don't steal the messenger, but also play devil's advocate in this case. You see, certain things, yeah, that we've seen a lot of ladies experience in the workplace, and this is kind of like to create a perfect workplace balance. That's mostly what this conversation is. But again, like the people who experience sexual harassment in the workplace, the statistics have shown is more ladies, is more 80% ladies than even men. But unfortunately, the men hardly speak up because unfortunately, this is conversation we'll have in men's mental health week. We'll have this conversation. I'll call men. People should come and talk. Talk! Stop! Ruining the statistics. But a lot of things that we're seeing ladies experience in workplaces, we have also seen men experience that, but somehow we look at it and like, he's a guy, he kind of likes that kind of comment, and just go ahead. So now we've seen in the case of inappropriate touching, that has happened to a lot of men. But for some reason, is it fine for me? Just, hey, yeah, man, just take it like that. So we've seen that happen, or even making slight comments, like very, very slight comments to the very suggestive comments to the man. But because the man is kind of like inflating his ego, he doesn't realize he's been sexually harassed.
My points.
And that's unfortunately, that's the weird psyche that and the reason why I brought up the fact that men also do get sexually harassed is for them to realize that we have so commonized these comments in the workplace that you don't know that you are being sexually harassed, and you don't know you are the one also sexually harassing someone because we have commonized it. Your colleague is working as a guy in the office and you slap his behind. Hey, he's a man, it's not.
I had to see cases of that.
Oh, that happens a lot. That happens a lot. It happens. It happens. I'm not about to be a statistic, so let's move
Alright.
That happens a lot. But
to you?
again, I can neither confirm nor deny. We'll get back to that. So, but that happens, and again, still to reiterate the fact that if we are not on that level outside the office, even if we are on that level outside the office, let's not bring it into the workplace. It's very, very imperative. Let's not bring it into the. We're here to work. Let's work. Okay? Keep that aside. Keep that sexual tension that is killing you. Keep it until you go outside.
Throw it away.
Leave it at the door. When we're done with office hours, come pick it up. Okay? So, but again, it's still very, very imperative that we make sure we draw the line between being very close with your colleagues. I think some companies that have understood how dire this situation can get, and again, because we're living in this part of the world where it's not taken so seriously, this is one of the reasons why a lot of companies go under. Because in the West, like America, if they report and say, hey, they go to corporate and say, I was sexually harassed at this place, they sue you, you have to come and answer questions.
Thoroughly investigate.
They will thoroughly investigate the whole situation.
Unfortunately, Nigeria isn't that way.
Isn't that way?
Yeah. And we can't get there.
It's what?
There are no laws against it.
Again, not just when there are no laws, even in companies don't have those policies.
Their family.
I've seen some companies that have placed the policy of you're not dating anybody at the workplace. So there's no dating anybody in the workplace. If we're colleagues, don't date, don't even marry.
Yes. If you do, one of you has to step down.
One of you has to step down. And I think it's as unfair as that gets, I understand the reason why it is standing rule for most companies. I totally get it, because this is one of the ways to mitigate, and now we've come to like one of the solutions to mitigating sexual harassment in the workplace. A lot of companies have put up this policy that you can't date, you can't marry anybody in this office. So if you're going to do that, and sometimes if you find out, you won't hear like an inkling that you guys are dating.
But does that really stop sexual harassment?
Now, in this case, now this is kind of why I say it kind of helps, because if we say you cannot date, you cannot marry anybody here, I'm not expecting you to be moving flirtatiously at work. So if you're moving that kind of way at work, is on you. So now we're not you can come and lie and say the reason why you did it is because we are dating. Now you're not supposed to be dating, so why are you doing that?
That's actually one good way to curb and mitigate this. But like, so are we saying that most couples should adopt
These policies
as one way to curb?
Although it's good to be hearing these people in this office marriage.
So what about the ones that it doesn't happen, like it's not premeditated by the lady? Like the point of sexual harassment is you getting unwanted advances. So she's not trying to get close to you, she's not trying to date you, she's just trying to be a nice colleague to you in the office.
And slap your
And
neck.
and the man is moving.
And the man is moving at her.
Yes. And making unwanted advances. How do you curb that particular issue in the office?
This is where the HR comes in. This is one of the conversations where HR comes in. And again, a lot of companies don't fully utilize their HR.
Yes.
HR is not just to come and check whether your work performance is going well. It's also to like know how your personal and work relationship is going. So, if somebody is moving to you in a certain way that you don't like, call HR. First of all, talk to the person and tell the person you're an adult. You're an adult. Tell the person first. Stop this. I don't. No, it's no.
Yes. Yeah. Actually.
Tell this person that you're not enjoying the way this person is moving towards you, and the person continues HR, and that's why it's.
So when the
work.
HR doesn't act on it, what's the next?
Lawsuit.
Police station.
Lawsuit. Proper documentation. Again, it's so unfortunate that we live in a world where a lot of people are not believed in this situation, and I kind of understand why. If you come out and say it, you will not, because some people have lied about things like this, and a lot of innocent men have lost their jobs because of this.
Their lives.
Because let's be very, very honest. As much as this happens a lot to women, a lot of women have also weaponized this.
Yeah.
And you have seen this uncle that is not moving to you the way you want him to move to you. Come and lie. Potiphar's wife.
And spread up a whole
Spread rumors.
an innocent man.
And the unfortunate part about this whole thing is that once this kind of information comes up, the man's life is ruined. His life is ruined. His business is ruined. Nobody's running the society except somehow in this country.
Especially when it goes viral.
Yeah,
that's
it's
the
done. That's social media assassination. You're done. Nothing is happening. You can't apply anywhere ever again.
Everyone just makes reference to, aren't you the guy on this post who did this? And it's totally a lie. And it's a total lie.
It's a total lie. So, as much as this kind of things happen, it's part of my advice is proper documentation. If this person is moving to you like this, don't tell the person through word of mouth.
Yeah.
I'm not saying WhatsApp text, shoot the person an email. I don't like the way you are doing this. Please, I insist that you stop. Via email, leave paper trails. So if the person deny you, you have paper trails. Exactly. So I'm giving you guys now like tips on how to make sure you're mitigating things like this. So ladies, tell your lady friends, guys, stop. And also tell your guys to stop moving like that. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Don't be forcing it. So part of the things is keep paper trails. Make sure once you're confronting the person, you're not doing word of mouth confrontation. Leave word of mouth. It's not going to help you.
It's not.
Because you need evidence if the thing persists.
Yes, if you try to sue.
Because unfortunately, what society will tell you, where's the evidence? How did he do it? That's a security camera that was watching you. Didn't? No. But you need evidences that this person moved to you this way. So if you converse with the person and tell the person, yo, I don't like the way you're moving at me at work. I'd like us to keep it professional and let's be ethical about this. Let's only come here and do work. And please, if I'm responding to your work, let it be work only. Thank you very much. And send email. Mail, again, still very, very emphatic on email. Don't WhatsApp, they will delete your WhatsApp message. Your phone gets stolen, it's gone.
Yeah.
But email is constant, it's always there. You can't delete email, you can't unsend an email. So unfortunate.
But I feel like at the same time, when this act is actually ongoing, it's the proper thing for you to record it or have an evidence that okay, this is happening.
Yeah.
But sometimes, for the case of Senator Natasha, she allegedly said that when it happened in the house, her husband was right behind, and he asked her there and then what transpired between you, and she couldn't say. So I feel like I want to know the reason, and I feel like the reason why most women actually don't believe, or they don't want to talk about it, is because during that period when it's happening, they're just confused. Thank you, they're in shock. They're trying to process how they feel about this, and unfortunately, this is something that happens at the spur of the moment. Like, it's happened already.
Yeah.
It starts piling up without you even realizing that, oh, this is actually happening. You're still trying to process your thoughts and your feelings. So I feel like once the advancement is on and you can sense that, oh, these advances are not pure, these advances are edging towards something that we would not want to participate in, you should try to remove yourself from the situation first. Detach yourself that, okay, this is not going to happen. I'm not going to allow this to happen. If not, you're going to get carried away with the moment. I mean, we all know that we're humans. Sexual behavior is normal. Wanted sexual behavior is normal, you know. So, and you can get engulfed by it also. But you should know that this is not what you want, and at that moment, stand in it and refuse it.
Yes, it's very, very, again, still very, very emphatic on the fact that this happens a lot in workplaces. So if you are at the workplace and you're noticing this type of movement towards you, be very, very clear on what this is. Don't try to sugarcoat it. Don't try to water it down. This is what it was. This is what it was. And this is what is going on, and if you let it slide, it's going to continue. So this is kind of like my advice to the ladies. My own advice to men is stop. It's as simple as that. Stop. Just stop. If you have, I never like if you have tried. I don't even know whether to say try, because sometimes this that could be like a very sweet relationship that could brew from work, and you don't know it. But again, still keep it very respectful. You know, you don't have to be suggestive. There could be invite the person to lunch. Oh my God!
Do dinner.
Do it the proper way. If you really like this lady, invite her to lunch. I don't know. Then talk about whatever depraved thoughts that you have towards that day. If she subscribes to those, great, good for you. But don't be touchy. She's not your sister, it's not your mommy, it's not your wife. Oh my God, it's worse. Even if it's your sister, you call it. Oh my God. But stop. Just be a proper gentleman. Invite her to lunch. Have whatever conversations. If you're interested in her, then you have that conversation. If she's also interested in you, good. Bada boom, bada bang. You guys move on and have
whatever you
want. Great. But don't be making suggestive, you see somebody's wife at work, your husband, do you know that that's a joke? You see that your husband is a lucky man. What do you mean, sir?
This your skirts, eh? These skirts are on fire. You're not supposed to see that somewhere at work.
Stop. Your husband is enjoy. Stop that. This is, you're moving, let me tell you now, sir. You're moving sexually towards this lady if you don't know. You're making suggestive comments. You don't know. A lot of people don't know. You feel like it's a compliment. It's not a compliment. It's a way of telling this woman that if you're not married, I'll have my way with you. You don't realize it, but that's it. That's what it is. Your husband is such a lucky man. Your husband enjoy. You see everything you carry. Your husband
enjoy.
At work. At work. Worse, right in front of the husband. Okay. Oh my God. Please. Stop. But for the ladies, immediately you notice stuff like this, and again, if you're not subscribed, because some people can just be, again, still making very, very clear, you can also have been like, okay, I've been waiting for this uncle to move like this to me shower, and then again, people should carry it outside the office. Okay? Carry it outside the workplace. Now, if this person is moving to you in a way you don't like, or you don't appreciate, be very clear to yourself, first of all, to yourself. Make it very clear to yourself that this is, you don't appreciate this, you don't like this, you don't want this, and then you, as an adult, don't expect people to have sense. Move to the person, tell the person, yo, I don't like this, stop this, don't do this again. If the person do it again, carry it to HR. And if HR don't do anything, get yourself a work. It's that simple. But Again, still opening the conversation to the public. Let us know what you guys think. 0808-704-1217. 0808-704-1217. Let us know your thoughts on this particular situation. Call in and weigh in your options. You can leave a message too on WhatsApp on 0901 615 0614. 0901 615 0614. Let's have your opinion about this situation. How do we stop this as a society? Again, still, like you had mentioned earlier, we as a society, as a country, we don't have laws that are protecting women in this regard. There should be in the legislature, there should be people putting up, raising bills and laws against protecting women against sexual harassment in the workplace. Because if there are laws like this, if you move to somebody anyhow, you know that the law is waiting for you.
Exactly.
What do you guys think about it?
All right. Well, like I said, I was the one who brought up the notion. So basically, there should be laws put in place against sexual harassment in the workplace, most especially. Because if you know, like you said, there is jail time waiting for you, there is a penalty for what you are doing, you will not be making some suggestive comments to your colleagues at work. Do you get? You'll be making some kind of comments to your colleagues at work. You respect yourself. Like I was saying to you this morning, when you come to work, there's nothing concern you with what somebody wears. Nothing concern you if the person husband or wife is enjoying. You came to work and go. When you are done, you can do whatever you want to do.
No, somebody watch out, but okay.
Well, yeah, you understand what I'm saying, do you? Thank you. That's exactly the point. If you know there's a penalty for what you're about to do or what you're going to do, and there should be like, in the workplace, there should be like a list of, yes, you said that people should not, the whole dating thing at work, but still it doesn't still like draw the line between dating and sexual harassment in Nigeria. It's a totally different thing. Yes, you can be dating someone and still sexually harassing. Yes, exactly. So there should be laws put in place. Like for example, if you get a job, there should be like rules. You don't know how to say this. Make some kind of comments to your colleagues or things like that. Like laws should be put in place to protect your workers.
Yes. Okay, now let's be there. Let me, again, I want to play a little bit of devil's advocate here. What if the lady actually dressed very provocatively? And when I say provocative and very suggestive,
She will lose her job. She will lose her job because coming into a business or coming into a company, there are things you should and should not wear. It is stated in your contract that you are not supposed to wear something below this.
That's just in Nigeria, though. Like,
that's just in Nigeria.
Yeah, of course, because outside the country, they get to wear whatever they want to wear.
I don't think so.
And they're still protected by the law.
I think it's mostly dependent on the office.
Yeah, depending on your office or where you're working.
Where you're working, basically. It's mostly dependent on that. There are certain offices that have very stipulated rules on what to wear and what not to wear to work, and a lot of people adhere to that. But some other organizations don't have such leniency.
Even when they have those rules, there are some people that on a normal day what they wear is decent, but the way they carry themselves or the way
their body shape,
it looks like they're trying to be provocative, which they are not. So I'm saying, like, if the laws apply, then good. But when in a country where the laws don't really hold waters, like you can do whatever you want to do, and the case will be left to pile up to like 10 years time before they get to like judge the case or administer justice. Nigeria is just, I feel like Nigeria should be a suitable place for these laws to work peacefully. That's the first. If the laws don't work, if we don't obey the laws and the regulations, nothing is going to change. It's going to keep being this way, and you keep filing suits and filing lawsuits, and it will be on one table for like over how many years, and you're waiting for justice to be administered.
Concerning this Saint Anastasia's case, he was like, she she went to the UN and she was
Yeah.
talking about her disabled sexual harassment case. And he was like, going to the UN is not going to really stop anything because Nigeria is Nigeria. Do you get?
Yes.
The person that she's accusing is a very powerful
Allegedly.
Allegedly, the person she's accusing is a very powerful man in Nigeria.
Yeah.
First of all, that is one. And secondly, Nigeria is a place where, like you said, the law don't hold water. You can continue reporting and nothing will happen.
You just keep coming back to trying to see how you can sort the case out and coming and you just it's a cycle that
continues. Yes.
And I won't be shocked if this case lingers for as long as 6 months or even more than a
Even
year.
more than.
Because I'm sure by next month it will be thrown under the bus already. Like more things
No
will
one
come
will
up.
remember it.
And it was only when maybe something major happens that
They will refer back to
they
it.
refer back to it. So how will more women want to have the courage to come up to speak when they see this kind of things happen? That this woman that is like way bigger than me,
She has power.
and has more power than me, spoke up, and this is what's going on. She's suspended currently. She's not sitting in the house for 6 months. She's going to be out. So me, that I'm an ordinary clerk, I'm an ordinary secretary, I'm an ordinary something. If I don't speak up, I will now lose my job. Maybe I've been there for like 5 years or 4 years. My recommendation letter will now be cut short out. Like when you think of all these things, like you just don't give yourself the strength to go ahead. So we need to actually like make the laws work in Nigeria. If it's just for this cause, at least it's women's month. Pity us. Like let's resist these laws and try to fix some things in it.
Yes, I totally agree with that, and I'm very sure you that is listening agrees with us as well. This is the Weekend Buffet right here on Bright 98.7 FM, and it's close time for us to be drawing our curtains. And before we actually get right to the curtains being drawn, we'd like to have your final thoughts on this particular situation. So, I will start with you, Thelma. Let's hear your final thoughts on this situation.
Okay. So, basically, I would suggest that laws be put in place. Not just laws be put in place. People should be open to follow these laws, including women.
Yeah.
Do you get? You should be open to follow these laws, like abide by these laws. Because if laws are put in place and everybody just like, nobody will actually follow the law, including us that want justice. It will not work. It will not work. So let us practice what we preach as women too.
Yeah.
And let the men also, like according to what you said, let them just stop. Please just stop. Thank you.
Any user, what's
Okay,
your
I want
final
to
thoughts?
specifically speak to the older generation of women
Yeah.
because you brought this up, and I actually had this in mind to bring it up and ask what the problem actually is. Why don't they support women who come up with this, with this problem, this situation? Why are they so dismissive about it? Can't they like notice a pattern and try to put an end to the pattern? Can they support? Because like most older women on this situation, like if you've watched interviews on Arise and other stations, you see them argue that it's normal, or she has equal rights, or she should have done something about it, or she should not have brought it up. Can we support each other? Can we help each other? We go through things. So can we just lend a supporting hand? It's not too much. We didn't tell you to pursue the case without doing. Just lend a supporting hand. And also to the men, please stop. like that's just what it is. Please stop. Control yourself. And very soon we'll have mobile police for women that go around to curb all these men that are involved in these atrocious acts.
Okay. Well, this is basically my final words to anybody in this particular situation. For those, if you're a Christian out there and you know exactly the teachings of Christ, in situations when he was asked a question about the lady who's provocative or who's like a sexual deviant, he did not give me any advice for that woman. He said, "You that's looking, remove your eyes, get your eyes out." So if the lady is dressed provocatively to you, uncle, look away.
If your eye is making you see, pluck it out.
Pluck it out. You don't say literally. If you reach like that, if you bad like that, it's not East that told you to do it. If you bad like that, you know what to do. So if you've been in that situation where you feel like maybe you're even at the workplace and the lady is dressing very, very provocative. You report to HR.
Yeah,
It's that simple.
It goes both ways.
It goes both ways. If you feel like this lady is making sexual advancement to you and you're comfortable with it, report to HR. Report to your HR. And if it's not HR, then ladies. I am so sorry for you. Get a new job. But as much as we're joking about this situation, as we're laughing about it, it's very serious. And we would want everybody to be a very big stakeholder in this particular thing and make sure we are taking it very seriously. So ladies and gentlemen, this is where we have it, and this is where we draw our curtains for today on the Weekend Buffet. Thank you very much, Ilza and Thelma, for joining me in this conversation. You guys have been very wonderful guests. And we'd love to have you guys next Saturday, or maybe another Saturday. Just make your Saturdays free. Come always, let's have conversations, let's talk, and enjoy having a conversation with people. And ladies and gentlemen, this is still Bright 98.7 FM. Do not touch that dial. We'll just be going on a short music break, and when we get back, we will still be talking more and more and more. But we're still right here. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Until next week, the Weekend Buffet comes to you, same time, same station, and we will be having fun. Until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful day.